This episode of Life Noggin was brought to you by Audible. Hey there, welcome to Life Noggin. Thanks to this wonderful thing called the internet, you are watching this video right now. But how did the internet get to where it is today? There is so much internet history that we couldn't possibly get to everything in this short of a video, so we're definitely gonna have to make a second one. Anyway, let's get started. The internet actually got its start over 50 years ago, and computers back then filled up entire rooms. Scientists and researchers used it for years to communicate during the Cold War. It was useful because if one computer went down, the others wouldn't follow. In 1962, a scientist named J.C.R. Licklider proposed the idea of a network of computers that could talk to one another. In 1969, the first ever message was sent from one computer to another over the ARPANET, the government's computer network at the time. ARPANET stands for Advanced Research Projects Agency. One was located in a research lab in UCLA and the other at Stanford. All the message said was log in, and it didn't fail to crash the network. Stanford only received the first two letters of the message, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. By the end of the year, only 4 computers were connected to this network. In 1971, the University of Hawaii's Aloha Net was added, followed by various networks in London and Norway 2 years later. Also happening in 1971, Ray Tomlinson was developing the first system to send mail back and forth between the users of ARPANET. This would eventually be called electronic mail, or email for short. The @ symbol was used to tell a person's name and the host name apart. With all of the networks floating around, there needed to be a way for all of the computers on them to communicate with other networks. This is where computer scientist named Vinton Cerf comes in. He invented a way to introduce computers across the globe to each other in a virtual space. This invention was called Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, which was followed by Internet Protocol, or IP. In the 80s, scientists used Cerf's protocol to send data
In my opinion, the globalization emerged because of the desire of the human being to grow its economy and technology knowledge. I think that the migration had to do a lot with it, and that a lot of people wanted to expand their business worldwide. The most of the time, the causes of this kind of attacks are political, religious, or socioeconomic factors. Terrorism is made to plant an objective of these factors in base of fear among populations. It relates because the end of the Cold War led the communism to end with the Soviet Union, therefore making the United States of America the only polar power. Nowadays, this era has influenced a lot in society in a positive way because we have all these kind of devices that makes our lives so much easier in aspects like communication, jobs, homeworks, investigations, etc. But it has also influenced in a negative way because now there's an addiction to these devices. It is so big that we forget to enjoy the moment and live your life to the fullest day by day. Of course, it is fascinating to have these devices that can do anything for you and help you out in any situation, but it is important to separate them from your life and enjoy what you're missing.